Your one click on the subscribe button makes a huge difference. Thank you for your kind support.
Grace's character in Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning represents one of the most significant partnerships in Ethan Hunt's career, evolving from reluctant ally in the previous film to his most trusted teammate in the finale. Her journey from skilled thief to the person entrusted with disconnecting the entity's containment device at precisely the right millisecond forms a compelling character arc that both enriches the narrative and provides essential skills to the IMF team. Understanding Grace's crucial role requires examining her unique abilities, her evolution across two films, and why Ethan ultimately places his complete trust in her despite their complex history. First introduced in Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, Grace begins as a character with ambiguous motivations. A talented pickpocket and con artist operating in Europe, she initially crosses paths with Ethan while they're both pursuing the same objective, though with different goals. Their early interactions are characterized by wariness and professional respect rather than immediate trust. Grace's criminal background makes her an unlikely IMF ally, yet her outsider perspective and unique skill set prove invaluable as the story progresses. What makes Grace particularly fascinating is how her criminal expertise translates to espionage work. As a master pickpocket, she possesses extraordinary manual dexterity, timing, and observational skills. When Ethan asks what distinguishes a good pickpocket from a great one, Grace replies with a single word: timing. This seemingly casual exchange establishes the foundation for her crucial role in the finale, where timing, specifically her ability to disconnect the storage device at precisely the right millisecond, becomes literally world-saving. Grace's background as a thief also gives her a different perspective on security systems and human behavior. Unlike professionally trained agents, she's developed her skills through practical experience, learning to read people and situations in ways that complement the more formalized training of IMF operatives. This street-smart approach allows her to see angles and opportunities that might elude others, making her an unpredictable asset in high-stakes scenarios. The evolution of trust between Grace and Ethan forms a central emotional thread across both films. Initially working together out of necessity rather than choice, they gradually develop a partnership built on complementary skills and shared experiences. By Final Reckoning, their relationship has deepened into genuine trust, though not without occasional tension. This progression feels earned rather than forced. With each challenge, they overcome together, strengthening their professional bond. Grace's introduction to the broader IMF team creates interesting dynamic shifts. Her unconventional background initially causes friction, particularly with more by-the-book team members. Yet, as the mission progresses, her unique contributions earn their respect. This outsider becoming insider narrative arc provides fresh energy to the established team dynamics, allowing for character growth across the ensemble while maintaining the core relationships that fans have invested in across multiple films. What truly distinguishes Grace's character is her specific contribution to the final mission. When the team devises their plan to trap the entity, they face a critical technical challenge. Someone must disconnect the storage device exactly 100 milliseconds after the entity enters it, but before it can launch nuclear missiles. This timing window is described as an eye blink, a metaphor that emphasizes both the split-second precision required and the human factor that technology alone cannot provide. The decision to entrust this crucial task to Grace represents Ethan's greatest vote of confidence in her abilities. When he declares, "We have to make sure that Grace is the only one to disconnect that unit," he's placing the fate of billions in her hands. This moment of complete trust marks the culmination of their relationship arc, from reluctant allies to partners who literally trust each other with the world. Grace's pickpocketing skills make her uniquely qualified for this critical role. Throughout her life, she's perfected the ability to execute precise manual actions at exactly the right moment, developing a timing sense that borders on supernatural. What was once used for criminal purposes is now repurposed for humanity's salvation, creating a redemptive arc that adds emotional depth to the technical challenge. Her criminal past, which might initially seem a liability, becomes humanity's greatest asset. The pressure of this responsibility creates compelling dramatic tension in the film's climax. As Grace watches the indicator light, waiting for the perfect moment to disconnect the unit, every millisecond carries the weight of billions of lives. The extreme close-up on her eyes and hands during this sequence emphasizes both the pressure she's under and her extraordinary focus despite the chaos erupting around her. It's a showcase moment that highlights how crucial her specific skills are to the mission's success. Beyond her technical contribution, Grace serves an important narrative function by questioning Ethan's decisions at crucial moments. When Ethan proposes his plan to let Gabriel escape with the Podkova, Grace voices the audience's skepticism. You're letting the entity into the vault. That's precisely what it wants you to do. Her willingness to challenge Ethan's thinking creates necessary tension while allowing the film to address potential plot holes directly. Rather than mindlessly following Ethan's lead, she engages critically with his strategies, strengthening them through constructive pushback. This questioning reaches its height in a pivotal conversation after retrieving the Podkova. Grace suggests they might be able to control the entity rather than trap it. If we could control it, maybe we could bring the world back from the brink. This moment reveals her more pragmatic approach compared to Ethan's moral absolutism. When Ethan responds by asking, "Who the hell would you trust with that much power?" Grace's simple answer, "You, of course. Only you," reveals her deep faith in his moral compass, even as she proposes alternatives to his plan. This exchange illustrates the complementary nature of their partnership. Grace brings pragmatism, flexibility, and street-level problem-solving, while Ethan contributes moral clarity, strategic thinking, and institutional knowledge. Together, they balance each other's tendencies, Grace preventing Ethan from becoming too rigid in his thinking, while Ethan helps Grace see beyond immediate tactical advantages to broader moral implications. Grace's character also serves as an audience surrogate in many ways. As a relative newcomer to the IMF world, she asks questions that longtime viewers might be curious about, allowing for natural exposition about the team's history and methods. Her outsider perspective provides fresh eyes on the established dynamics, creating opportunities for both humor and insight as she navigates the complex world of international espionage. Throughout Final Reckoning, Grace demonstrates remarkable adaptability under pressure. From improvising during the prison escape with Ethan to her quick thinking during the confrontation with Russian operatives on St. Matthew Island, she consistently shows an ability to adjust plans on the fly. This adaptability makes her the perfect person to handle the unpredictable variables of the final mission, where split-second decisions can mean the difference between success and catastrophic failure. The film also explores Grace's moral evolution alongside her technical contributions. Initially motivated primarily by self-preservation and professional pride, she gradually embraces the higher purpose of the IMF mission. By the film's climax, she's willing to risk her life to save billions of strangers, showing how her priorities have shifted through her association with Ethan and his team. This moral growth doesn't erase her practical streak, but enriches it with a newfound sense of purpose. What makes Grace particularly refreshing as a character is that her femininity is neither emphasized as a weakness nor transformed into stereotypical strong female character tropes. Her gender is incidental to her skills. She's simply an exceptionally talented thief whose abilities prove crucial to the mission. This matter-of-fact approach to her character allows for a partnership with Ethan based on mutual professional respect rather than romantic tension or gender dynamics. The visual language used to establish Grace's skills deserves particular attention. Throughout both films, the camera frequently focuses on her hands, whether lifting wallets, manipulating locks, or executing the precise movements required for the final disconnection. These close-ups emphasize her physical precision while creating visual continuity between her criminal past and her world-saving present. When the moment comes to disconnect the storage unit, these established visual cues pay off dramatically. Grace's relationship with technology throughout the film creates interesting thematic resonance. Despite her considerable technical skills, she remains fundamentally analog in her approach, relying on physical dexterity and human judgment rather than digital tools. This contrast becomes particularly significant in the final confrontation with the entity, where human timing and physical action provide the key to defeating a digital adversary. Grace embodies the film's suggestion that humanity's salvation lies not in rejecting technology, but in maintaining the uniquely human elements that technology cannot replicate. The film's final scenes show Grace presenting Ethan with a storage device containing the trapped entity. This symbolic handover represents the completion of their journey together, from reluctant allies to partners who successfully executed history's most important mission. The quiet moment they share acknowledges the weight of what they've accomplished while suggesting that their partnership has fundamentally changed both of them for the better. Grace's crucial role in Mission Impossible Final Reckoning demonstrates how the franchise has evolved over time. Rather than relying solely on Ethan Hunt as the solution to every problem, the later films emphasize team dynamics and specialized contributions. Grace's specific skills, particularly her extraordinary timing, provide capabilities that even Ethan lacks, creating a more realistic portrayal of complex operations requiring diverse expertise. In the end, Grace's character represents one of the most successful additions to the Mission Impossible franchise, a newcomer who earns her place through distinctive contributions rather than simply replacing established characters. Her crucial role in the final mission feels earned and necessary rather than contrived, while her evolving relationship with Ethan provides emotional substance alongside spectacular action. By trusting her with the most critical task in the mission, Ethan acknowledges what the audience has come to recognize, that some impossible missions require precisely the right person with precisely the right skills at precisely the right moment.